I'm going to start the live stream because it takes a minute.
Do we need 5 or 6?
Hold on.
I didn't read that part of Robert's rules.
Who the heck is Robert anyway?
You need 6. So one,
Give it
2,
another minute.
3, 4, 5. Yeah. Park board is also going on tonight, so I'm sure that's where Marcus is at. Maybe he'll join us when they're done. I haven't heard from Sean. Have you heard from Sean, Kim?
No, not since last Thursday night.
Okay.
And Samara, I don't see on.
We've got a quorum, don't we?
I think that's what we're saying. We need one more person.
Oh,
6.
I guess I should listen. Boy, for some reason, I got on this call and my email blew up. It's like, holy cow, where are all these emails coming from all of a sudden?
I think I just sent you a couple.
Did you?
Council stuff.
Yeah, you just sent. Yeah, I heard those coming on my. I'm not on my city.
Oh,
I'm on my desktop with 3 monitors, so I can see everybody. I wish you could split people out. That'd be great, but you can't do that.
well, you can certainly still have a meeting. You just can't make any decisions or motions.
Did we have any decisions we needed to make?
Like you can table the minutes and do that next time. And
Okay,
any other potential action.
let's do that. Do we open it as a regular meeting, Kelly, and all that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just
Yeah. You're just going to have a discussion with no action.
Okay. So let's call the meeting to order then. I guess the first step is to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. You all could all join me. Pledge
pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Kelly, can you help us with the roll call? I have a feeling we're going to get to a quorum shortly, but
Sure. Commissioner Helt, Commissioner Daughtry,
Here,
Commissioner Tagent, Commissioner Hayden, Commissioner McLarnon,
here,
Commissioner McCurdy, Commissioner Welch,
Here.
Commissioner Frederick, Commissioner Rasmussen. I see you, Vern. Commissioner Rasmussen.
Here.
Okay. And Commissioner Ives. Commissioner Dennis Ives.
Here.
All right. Great.
great. Thank you. I guess I'll make a motion to excuse the absent commissioners.
I'll second.
So I'm not sure you can even make this
we
motion.
can't
Oh.
do that. We don't have a vote.
No.
Okay,
Besides, I'm not excusing anybody.
No,
all right.
I think you just literally have to have a discussion only.
Okay, good, thanks. So I'll just say this for the recording for all those hundreds of thousands of people that are going to listen to this, that we'll have a discussion only until we get another member, so we have a proper quorum. Okay, one of the things on the minutes, I know we're not going to approve anything, but I'll just call this out. I think there's a template, Eric Kelly, that it says like the mayor is going to call the meeting to order, and I don't want anyone to confuse it and bring their city issues to me, right?
Yes, thank you. I have a new program I'm using for agendas, and I think it might still be defaulting to the council template. I'll get that fixed.
No worries. I just figured, yeah.
Thank you.
And the other thing I noted, I'll just again mention it now. And Dennis, keep me honest here on the emergency response item. I think we want to note for the minutes, and I know we'll have to do this over again when we go to approve them, but that Max Roth is now the risk manager for the city, and he's going to be coordinating all the emergency response planning activities for the city, and he's going to contact us when appropriate.
That's my understanding too.
Okay,
Great.
well, I can draft that for next time.
Super, thanks. Other than that, it all looked fine to me. Okay, one thing I'd like to do is I assume there's nobody out there for public comment.
There's nobody
is
there,
not. Nope.
unless any of you want to make a public comment. We can do that,
Right. Right. What I'd like to do is as we went through last meeting, there were several items, and I'm going to list them off, that we deferred, saying they're on hold right now. So that was all the community events, the emergency response planning, the job fair, and VSO discussion. So as we go forward, I'd like to put the on hold stuff sort of at the end of the meeting and go through it, or list it anyways. And we could take it as, if there's anything to update, great, but I don't want anyone to think like we need to be working on them if we've all agreed we're not working on them currently. So if it's okay, I'd like to go through the discussion sort of with that in mind, and I'll skip over those and then cover them at the end if that works for everyone. Okay. So it's too bad we don't have Samara, because first one up is Adopt a Highway. And Vern, I know you were interested in that with working with Samara. I don't know if there's any updates for any planned activities or anything updates.
I've been a little remiss in sending her a note, but today I sent her a note, an email requesting that she get a hold of me or let me know when I could talk with her, and so we could set a date for the next Adopt a Highway pickup.
Great.
So what does everybody think that we might want to do on that? If we were to pick a date tonight, for the people that are here, when would we want to do that? Are we thinking this month or next month, or what's the thought process here?
This month is pretty well booked up for me, and I'm going to be out of town the last week, including the last Saturday, the 30th. And so I was thinking that maybe like the 7th or the 14th of May.
The 7th is the day before Mother's Day. So
What's that got to do with anything? It's a day before Mother's Day.
But people might be traveling to see their mothers. I don't
Okay, well,
know.
there's another reason I can't make the 7th, and that's the youth advisory. The Youth Advisory Council is doing a youth leadership summit on the 7th.
About the 14th. That's the next Saturday.
I can do the 14th.
14th is open in my book.
Me too.
So Vern, here's what I suggest is, I know I don't think we need a motion for this anyways. This is just discussion, that stuff. But the 14th sounds good. And also we had talked about sort of involving some other people, right?
Yeah, like the Youth Advisory Council.
Possibly, or other veterans groups. I was going to defer to Vern on, Kim, you said that like with authority. Have you already been talking to those guys? Think they want to get involved, or?
Yeah, the Youth Advisory Council wants to get involved in all the community events that they can. If you think about what they're trying to accomplish, you guys just wouldn't believe what a great group of youth that council has on it. I mean, we could take lessons from these kids. Let me tell you, they run a tight meeting. When they make an assignment, they come back the next week and that assignment's done. And that's with them working part-time, doing track, going to church, school full-time. They still hit all their assignments. And it's like, are you kidding me? And Sean and I and Steve Ewing look at each other all the time and just shake our heads. It's like, wow. So if they say they want to be involved in a community event, they might not all show up, but somebody will show up. They make an assignment and it happens.
So I'll try to get a hold of Hayden as soon as I can. because I don't have any access to any of the things that we need, for the bags and all that stuff. And I think she does.
Right. So Vern, let me know if you, in the next, let's say, week or two, if you don't hear back and aren't on solid ground there, let me know. And I can reach out to Samara too, and we'll track it down. And, I'm a firm believer in sort of succession management, I think is the proper term, but it's also the, what if I get hit by a bus kind of strategy. There should never be one person holding all the info, right?
Can we leave the buses out of this, please?
Fair enough, says the man on the transportation committee. Yeah. Okay. So that sounds great. The other thing I think we're going to want to, and Vern, I'm hopefully giving you a lob here. I think we want to have these like almost monthly, right? When the weather's good, just to get traction.
Well, they want us to do one every quarter to spread it out. So we're cleaning it up for the whole year. But since there's such a large amount of work to do, and I think that a couple of, a month apart is not going to hurt for the first go round.
Right. I would agree.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I've been looking at it as I drive down there. It's like, okay, where we did it before is totally trashed again. And then where we didn't do it, which is, we have 4 miles. Is that what it is? 2 miles long. And we got 4 miles of road to clean up. It's not getting any better.
Right. So I think Vern, and I'll just, again, apologies for if I'm stepping on your toes at all, but I think we can involve multiple groups, get different people coming in, and just have a bunch of these over the course of the next 4 or 5 months, and maybe get some traction on this thing.
That sounds like it might be working. Let me talk with Samara, and we'll get back to you as quick as I can.
Great.
I had an email come in from my council email, probably 2 weeks ago now, of one of the citizens who was really upset about the trash, and he wanted to know who was responsible for picking up trash in the city, and he wanted to know a name. Who do we hire to do that? And I said, well, nobody. We don't hire people to pick up trash in the city. You want to go pick up the trash on your road, have at it. We don't hire people for that. So really, there isn't anybody responsible. Now, that's not a really great answer, but at the same time, no, you want to participate, then there's volunteer groups out there that are doing it, and I can email them back and say, hey, we're going to pick up trash on Highway 204 with the Veterans Commission on 14 May. Come join us.
Yeah, there you go.
But there's these people out there that get tired of seeing the trash, but they won't do anything about it. Like if you see somebody trashing it, don't say anything. Oh my God. So, there's people that are upset about the trash, and what we really need to do is get the word out that we're trying to deal with it. So,
yeah, along those lines, if you might recall at the last meeting, I mentioned that Jill Meese had called me, and I followed up after, and that's essentially the city does have a program, I understand, for city streets.
Right.
And Jill helps coordinate that.
Right.
So she was reaching out to us, just wondering if we were trying to do something on a city street, she was going to help make it happen. So
the Youth Advisory Council is reaching out to get their street. They're trying to adopt a street. So, that, like I said, they're trying to do all kinds of stuff, and they're getting not just their council involved, they're getting the rest of the youth and, the high school and and Cavallero, they're getting them involved.
Right.
So they're doing that, and they're going to be setting the example. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, good. And if as we get results, we can put it in our newsletter. I know they've got a newsletter, and we can promote it, right? If other help promote the city's agenda of adopt a street.
Yep.
Very good.
Even the pot shop has one. No, they're on Highway 9. Never mind. I guess Kevin's frozen.
Yep. There you are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, looks like I'm frozen. Okay. I had moved on to business recognition. Did you guys hear any of that?
Nope.
No.
Okay. In terms of business recognition, I have a quick update. I did reach out to Matt Tabor at the council. He said right now there's no one that they have record of that we don't already know about. I will follow up with Marcus because he was going to reach out to someone, one of the Allstate franchise owners that he thought might be interested in being recognized. So right now, that's our only lead. I'll follow up on that. And if anyone else knows anything, just send them along because it would be nice to recognize some folks this summer.
I wonder if that's the Allstate rep that's on the chamber board. Wouldn't that be embarrassing?
Yeah, is it Keith Harrington is the name I have that Marcus said.
Oh, that's a different person.
Okay.
I know who Keith is.
So anything else, if anyone, stumbles across anyone, just let me know. And that's all I have on business recognition right now.
Okay.
Next up, Coffee Klatch. Deb, I know Kim's been working on this. I know you've been interested in, do you want to jump in and share your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to, I think it's probably time to maybe move it outside, maybe with Lundin. I talked to Kelly and asked her about what was going on with the mill now that all the rooms are completed, if we could start maybe renting there. And she's going to check with Dawn, who's the person that does scheduling. She says that the scheduling for the reservations has changed. But it's really easy for us to reserve that undercover area out at Lundin. Easy access, still outside if people are having issues with being in close quarters with others. And it's undercover. Plus it has electricity if we need it.
We could also use the covered area outside the mill right there. There's a covered area there that would be big enough for a pretty large group.
I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah.
So we could do it there, and there's electricity available. And
okay, that's another great thing. Yeah, no, I was told, because I wasn't there myself, I was told that the commissioners and the mayor, all the regulars from the city were at the last Coffee Clash. We didn't have any other community there, and I don't know. I'm gonna talk about something in new business too, an idea. But I'm hoping maybe in a more open venue, we might get a few more people. That being said, our Coffee Clash is this Saturday, and because we're kind of a week late, I haven't put anything out. I will put something out immediately. If we can we just decide without doing anything here where it should be so I can get that updated and get it pushed out? I think I might have the Coffee Klatch listed, but I think I still have it at Buzzin. I think I might have done 2 months in a row in that event that I did, but I can update it.
The other thing is, I think, again, we can't vote or anything, but we have 2 outdoor sites now that are both city-owned undercover. So I personally think going outdoors is a great move. And while one might get booked, we ought to be able to, find the other, if open, I would think if especially if we get in there and book some, quickly.
I don't think there's any booking for the outside one at the mill. There might be, but I don't think so.
So the only worry with that, and maybe not at 8 at 7:30 in the morning, is someone scooching in there before we would show up, since there's not a reservation type thing. But I don't think that's far reaching. Someone's not going to be there that early, but I don't know.
Let's see what the process is too. If we talk to Dawn, but I think I guess my thought, 2 thoughts. One is, since we really haven't advertised it and we didn't have anyone show up to the last one that wasn't someone we can easily contact, is it better to slip it 1 week to give you time to finalize the location?
We, I mean, we could try the undercover there at the mill. And well, actually, Kelly said that there shouldn't be a problem with reservations at Lundin, but we should start doing it now because those fill up fairly quick.
Yeah, the outside of the mill, my only thought is what do you do about chairs and tables? You'd have to get them inside the mill and bring them out.
You don't necessarily need tables and chairs. We went to the
Oh.
one outside the, when we did it over at the War Memorial without that. We brought one table to set up the
Okay.
coffee and stuff on it. Everybody just milled around.
Oh,
But my thought on that too is also access, making sure someone can get there fairly easily from their vehicle. And if they need to sit, they have somewhere to sit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Aren't there picnic tables at the mill site?
No, well, yeah, there's one out there, but that's not enough. And
No,
then I
I
think
mean-
that, and there's plenty of seating underneath Lundin.
Kelly, who do we go through to reserve Lundin?
the front desk. So Rondi or Kira, if you call the main number.
So
do. They
is
do
this a
that.
commission? This is a commission thing, so we wouldn't have to pay for it, would we? 'Cause we're a city
Uh,
commission.
Right, we're part of the city.
Probably not, but they would have all that information for you.
I can call first thing tomorrow and
Yeah,
Maybe what you could do is just let Kelly know what you find out, and Kelly can distribute the email, and you can frame it as we're either on or we've got a problem that we have to talk about, right?
yeah. Rondi and Kira do a job share. So just when you call Debbie, just say, I'm calling for, reservations at the Lundin shelter, and they'll
Okay.
walk you through it.
thank you.
Yeah,
And there is power there, so
yeah. And then
And we
would
just-
somebody just pick up a coffee box or something?
we'd have to get a coffee box or whatever.
Are
I'll
you
bring
guys
my own.
thinking of that for this Saturday? If you can do it that quickly? I just need to notice it, whatever you guys decide.
That's the day we're supposed to do it. So if I can get the reservation on Monday, then I think it could be a go.
Why do you have to notice it?
Monday, Tuesday, sorry.
Because a quorum of veteran commission members, where we ran into this
Oh,
before.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
been
yeah.
I've been noticing them.
I was thinking council. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay, Debbie, well, keep me posted, or if you can't get a hold of somebody or anything I can help with, let me know.
Okay.
And,
And
and
then I
once we finalize it, Kelly, could we put it in the city calendar too?
I don't see why not. Kim, do you have a thought about that?
No, it should go in the
Okay.
city calendar.
Yeah, okay.
I'll try to get it on. I'll get it on the chamber calendar.
Right. And Kelly, if we can book a few months out too, then we can get the stuff on the calendar. Well, just, the more places
Yeah.
we can advertise it, the better.
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, anything else on that? All right, I have a quick update on the newsletter. Hopefully you saw the draft. I think it couldn't get much thinner and be worth sending, but I think we can send it. I'm hoping someone can give me some feedback on what events are happening around Memorial Day. To me, that's the gap that's in there right now when we look at coming events. There must be something planned.
The American Legion is planning 2 services. One on Monday morning at 10 o'clock at the Flag Pavilion. Now, I don't know if all that construction will be done, but I doubt it. So
When's Memorial Day?
it's the
May 30th.
30th of May.
Yeah, it's supposed to be done by then.
Okay, so we'll have that, and then we'll have another service at the Machias Cemetery at noon. Same day.
Great. And are there any other city events happening on that weekend? Does anyone know?
Not that I'm aware of.
Vern, what I'll do is I'll put some words together and just send it to you in an email to make sure, you can give it the okay.
Okay.
And then, again, I don't think, to me, I'd like to get the newsletter out. So I guess the way I'll frame it now, since we don't have a quorum here, is if there's anything else that anyone wants to add, please either say it now or send it to me. Go ahead, Kim.
So if we're gonna say we're gonna meet on the 14th of May to do the road stuff, why don't we go ahead and put that in there? Just say we're gonna do it, and then I don't think we have to vote on anything like that.
Right.
We already have the road project, so we're just picking a date. And let's go ahead and put that in the newsletter.
Okay. The one discussion item I'll bring up about that is just, I know, and Vern, you mentioned this before. I think the state wants us to limit the number of volunteers for safety reasons, right? To 10 or so. So we wouldn't want to call for volunteers, I don't think, especially if we're going to have the youth council.
I'm wondering if we can't check with them. And if we have a group of 5 to 7 in one area and start the other group at the other end, 5 to 7, it's not exactly 10, but 10 at each space. I mean, you're several miles apart, so I can't see how that would be a problem.
Do you want to check that out when you talk to him, Vern?
When I talk to Samara, I'll get the final rules and see if we can't do that. Check it out.
Great.
I think if we split it up and each group starts at the other end, I mean, there's plenty of trash to go around, I'll tell you.
Yep.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's not a quick thing.
No, that would be great. I think it would be a matter of getting the signage from them to do, 2 at once, and which hopefully they'd be okay with.
Right.
Okay. That's great, Kim. Any other comments on the newsletter? Any other thoughts?
It looked very good. I was very impressed with the calendar and everything.
Yep. I have appreciation for what Debbie does pulling that together, because she sent me some links this time, and some of them had some let's say some dubious dates on them.
Yeah, some are pretty interesting, but that was the most comprehensive one I could find.
Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last few days, we've had several flag lowerings for the governor has asked us to do, and I've been taking care of those. But is there anything? I don't suppose we need to put anything in the newsletter about stuff like that, but in the future we might want to. If you're going to print one close to the time we're going to have something, I'll try to keep you posted.
Okay.
Yeah, but couldn't we go ahead and put it? I mean, make a precedent of that and put in that flags have been lowered the past, since the last newsletter, flags have been lowered for this person, and this person, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You want me to put something together and try to get it to you?
Please. That would be great.
Yeah. And I think if we did that, in honor of those that have served, the flags have been lowered on this person for this date, this person for that date, to commemorate their passing, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would be a bad thing. I mean, usually we're not going to be able to know to get it in the newsletter ahead of time. If somebody knows that ahead of time, they're going to get the Secret Service coming after them, I think. So we're only going to be able to do it posthumously,
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. We could start tracking that, and it could become a regular feature, right?
Yeah.
People
hopefully not, but
people will have seen the flag at half staff and wondered, well, what was this down for, and
right.
No, that's a great idea, Vern. Yep. And I'm one of those people wondering and guessing. So if you could send me something that was knowledgeable, that would be even better.
Okay, we'll get something for you.
Thank you. Okay. Partner network. The as you saw probably in the newsletter, I did reach out to Tina. I want to reach back out to Operation Homefront. We got contacted from this new organization, or new to me anyways, Bunker Labs. So that was kind of cool. They're in the newsletter. Kim, you'll see it. It's a little blurb. They're basically an innovation center for veteran entrepreneurs. So they've got 2 or 3, they're a nationwide org. They've got 2 or 3 programs, including like a, I don't know, 9-week intensive kind of workshop. And this is the Seattle organization that is, well, we had a couple of emails with them, and they seem like they're also just coming out of the pandemic and start looking to start up some events.
I read your article at first I'd ever heard of it, but it sounds really unique.
Yeah, and they're trying to outreach into Snohomish County and the North Sound area and get better known and drum up some veteran entrepreneurs.
Kevin, what did you say the organization was again?
They're called Bunker Labs.
Bunker Labs. Okay.
Yeah, and bunkerlabs.org.
Nice article in the newsletter.
Yeah, and I
pretty,
think that
it's pretty nice.
the gentleman, Matt, he just responded to me today too, that he's going to try to be doing a weekly video, and so they're going to start some communications to try to outreach to veterans that are either have small businesses or thinking of starting a business. And it sounds like it could really be helpful for someone in that category.
And we can get that shared on the foundation page.
Great. Okay. Oh, the other thing is, Kurt sent a note to me, and he is going to try to line up Soli Funeral Home to come maybe in June to speak to us about, the question came up before, what services are available for veterans around burial services and commemoration, and how does one go about it?
Mm-hmm.
So Kurt thought that we could, ask those guys to come in and maybe educate us so that we can share that.
That'd be nice.
Okay, Purple Heart City. I have a quick update there. I decided to talk to Jill because I realized that really the signs, we're going to end up being an adjunct to a whole bunch of new city signs that are going up. And it was good talking with Jill because she reinforced that idea that the major signs that I think we're interested in, Route 9, 92, 204, those are all state highways. And the city is in the process of going through approvals with the state to put up welcome to Lake Stevens signs. So we can just piggyback on that. I am going to get an update from Jill in mid-April is when we decided. So it should be in another week of where that stands. When we talked in March, they were going out to people who make the signs and getting quotes and trying to put together a package with a timeline. So if it looks like that process is going to drag out really long, then we can pursue going to the highway department to try to do something interim. But my initial sense was the highway department has enough going on that we don't have to make extra work for them, and we can piggyback on this other project.
So where are some of the other places we got 20th Street Southeast coming up the hill? We can do that.
Yeah.
That's because that's inside the city. But what about Machias?
Machias is done on one end, right? The one that's up there on 20th, but
Right.
It's not done down by the new UGA.
Has that been reestablished? It was torn down. The one up that you just mentioned,
What?
up on grade by 20th.
On
Maybe
there's
the one on Machias still there.
Yeah, the one sign that's up, the one Purple Heart City sign that's up is the one that's against the ball field there, the recreation area, right?
Oh, okay. Right. I
That's
forgot.
That's at 16th.
Yeah, thank you. It's 16th. I'm wrong. But the other thing, Kim, that's what I was thinking, right? There's a bunch of signs and we could just tack them on. But one of the things that that Jill brought up is now all the signs are supposed to, like 4x4s aren't proper signage anymore, right? They've got to be breakaway signs.
Right, got to be breakaway metal signs, yeah.
So just my thought was wait till we get an update from Jill and what the big project's going to look like. And then if it's too far out, we could pursue trying to do something interim. But I think all those interim signs, like on 20th, are going to have to come out and be replaced because they're on 4x4s. So.
Well, we only have one out there, right? That's it, just one so far?
Correct.
Okay, so that's just the one out on Machias and 16th. And Vern,
Right.
did you say you thought that was torn down?
No, I was thinking the one on Grade Road, just off of 92.
Oh, we didn't have one there.
There was used to be one there, Lake Stevens proper thing, but
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about an entry sign. Okay, got it. I thought you meant the
Entry
Purple
sign.
Heart sign. Yeah, so,
reason that was taken out. So
right, that was, but it was taken out by a truck, actually.
that's the deal.
Yeah, it was taken out really easily, actually. Okay, so no, that makes total sense, Kevin, about them doing it that way. That makes.
Yeah.
I mean, the city is trying to do things efficiently with their public works department, and to go out and put them up and then have to take them back down again is not efficient. So
Right.
nobody but us really knows about it. So it's not like anybody's going to complain that there's no Purple Heart signs up.
Right. On the other hand, I am cognizant that the mayor signed it. We're coming up on 3 years from when he signed the original bill. So, I guess the only thing I can say after talking to Jill is that she's more frustrated about the timeline to get the signs replaced than I am. So,
Well, that's a good thing.
yes. All right, and that's the update there. I should have more, like I said. I think the city should have its quotes back by now or in the next week, and I'll reach out to Jill, and for our next meeting, I'll have another update. Vern, the next thing up I have, or the last of the sort of regular current activities, is War Memorial. We talked about it a little, but is there anything else you want to update us on that?
Mentioned he had something he'd like to share.
Yeah, so I had a conversation today with Aaron Halverson, the Public Works Director, about the War Memorial. And the conversation really is revolving around the Space Force flag. And the mayor and Aaron and I met down there. We were down there for Aquafest, but we talked about the War Memorial while we were there. And there's a couple of issues with changing that. So it's okay, what do we do to actually accomplish that? The way that we think we could do it is we could move the American flag back into the park a little bit, just right across the sidewalk. So back in towards the park, move the lights for that, or at least put in 2 more lights for that, get another flagpole that matches the rest of them and put it back where the American flagpole was, and then everything is good. The American flag is still higher. The other ones are in front. Space Force would be the next to the last one on the right if you're looking at the War Memorial to follow, sign or flag precedence. The other issue, so that's an easier way of doing it if we can get a hold of the flagpole for, to make it look basically the same.
Mhm.
I don't know how we're going to have to do, somebody's going to have to do some research to figure that out. And I mean, maybe the city can do that. The other issue that I didn't even think of until I talked to Aaron this afternoon was the emblems. Those emblems that are in the face of the concrete on the inside of the War Memorial right now aren't even in line with their flags. They're kind of off more towards the center than their flags. And he brought up the point, well, there's a little bit of room between between the 2 center ones where there's an electrical box, which I don't think I ever remembered there being, but I went down there and looked at it. Sure enough, there's an electrical box right there, which is crazy. He doesn't understand why it was put there. It should never have been there, but they could move that. But he was saying just put the emblem, move the emblems and put them in there. Well, I don't buy that because they're not spaced properly then, and they really ought to be in front of, directly in front of their flagpole.
Mhm.
In order to do that, we need to pull the emblems, fill in all the concrete, and then re-drill for the emblems and do all that. Okay, that's not a big deal. We just got to get that contracted out to do. They are thinking about trying to get this done by the fall. And I told them, well, that's great, but we're not pushing that. We're just saying, hey, this needs to happen. So I don't want us to come off as to the city saying, get this done, get this done, get this done. That's not, I tried to make it to where that's not the point. The point is we need to do it right, figure out what it's going to take, and just keep moving in that direction.
Mhm.
But he was tasked with getting it done by the fall, by Gene and the mayor. I'll talk to the mayor about it. I did also tell him that I was going to do a little bit of research to figure out, is the Space Force actually a part of the Air Force or not? And could we, in the interim, put the Space Force flag on the same flagpole as the Air Force? It turns out, no, you cannot.
Okay.
It has to be between, let's see who's last. I think it's between the Air Force and the Coast Guard. I think that's the way it is. I have to look it up again. It goes Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. No, yeah, Space Force, and then Coast Guard. So that's the way it's supposed to be from left to right as you're looking at it. So we cannot just in the interim put a Space Force flag up. Can't do that. So understand that there's a Space Force, understand, it happened at the wrong time for us to get this up, but they are moving forward with it. We just need to kind of keep tabs of how. And I really think that we need to get the emblems down, redo the face, put them back in, and make them spaced out the right. But what do you guys think and gals think of putting the American flag 4 or 5 feet behind where it is now into the park?
It does fly higher, correct?
No, it's definitely higher. It has to be higher.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just trying to envision it. Is it going to look awkward out in the grass, or do you think that
It wouldn't be that far out in the grass. It'd only
Okay.
be, where the little bit of shrubbery is right there.
Mhm.
It'd just be kind of right there. It'd have its
Okay.
own little pad.
Oh,
be right
yeah,
there.
sure. Okay.
About if the concrete was extended in a way that would include the American flag.
Yeah, we could. I think that's what we would want to
That
do
would
is
be
make it
nice.
so it's a seamless transition,
Mhm.
but it needs to be away. Now the other one I brought up was, well, why don't we put it in front of the memorial, like almost center of the circle?
Oh,
They immediately poo-pooed that idea because it's kind of blocking the names then, it kind of makes it to where you're kind of what's the word I'm looking for? You're kind of crowded in there in the war memorial. That's kind of a sacrosanct area, so we want to keep it clear. So really the best option from that conversation, there might be other ideas out there, but from that conversation is just putting it 4 feet the other way or 5 feet the other way.
I
I've made
think-
one call and I'm going to follow up with it and see if I can find out if any other memorials in the state have added the Space Force in, and how did they do it?
Well, I've seen pictures of war memorials with the Space Force flag flying. I don't necessarily remember. I just did a Google search and sure enough, they're showing up. But there wasn't any, I didn't even look for information on how did you do it. It just looks to me like they did it and it looks good. So I don't know if they were old war memorials or they changed everything like we did and ended up putting it in there. I don't know that.
Okay, well, I'm going to do some research on that so I
Okay.
can report back.
The other thing I was going to say, Kim, back to something you mentioned earlier. Based on the discussion I heard earlier, I think you had it right that, the concern that this group raised was that this is something we have to plan for, not something that needed to be done right away. If anything, I think the more urgent issue was getting the rules straightened out and awareness for people who rent the park.
Right, which is, I mean, that's an issue. And the thing that I would like to do about that, I've been thinking a lot about that. I would like to get some A boards, have the city get some A boards that every time there's an event in the park, both sides of the war memorial get an A board explaining the war memorial. You know, it doesn't have to be verbose, but explain that this is you know, a sanctioned place. It's a war memorial. Please be respectful. And maybe that is enough to curtail some things. Now you're going to have some kids that are just going to push the dang A board over just to spite. Okay, I got that. But I don't want to have to come up with anything permanent like that. And it would be fine just to have, hey, there's an event, place these. I mean, even if it's us going down to place them, I would personally go down and place them.
Well, I think that, and it's not mine. Vern, I'm going to look for you to comment because you have a lot more history and knowledge of people who are going to have strong feelings about it, I think. But I think what you're saying, Kim, makes sense. And we might as well try the lightest weight approach and the easiest to implement first. And if it's not good enough, then you go to the next step, right?
Right.
So I think that's a good idea. First start.
Yeah. So I think that the best thing to do there is, okay, what words do we use? You know, how do we word it to get it on, you know, that kind of on a thing that we can get it printed and, you know, that kind of thing and have them ready to go and start putting them up.
Do you think we should invite Jill or someone to one of our meetings, or like whoever would be, like who would should we identify who in the city we need to talk to, and then maybe is it the best thing to just invite them to a meeting and try to hash this out?
Hash the signs out, or the whole,
even the concept of not the flags and the Space Force, but the other issue that with the sign, you know, solving it so that people are aware of if there's a war memorial in the middle of their party.
I am more inclined to come up with a solution and take it to them instead of bring them in to discuss it.
Okay.
I mean, in the military, that's what we do, right? You set a problem in our lap, we fix it, and we tell you that we did it.
That's fine. I just
was
trying to get to end game. That's all I was trying to think of. How do we get there quickest?
Yeah, the only issue we'd have, and Kelly might be able to help us on this one, is who would pay for the printing of this sign. And it could be that we just get it, you know, sponsored, or I think we still have some money in our account for the commission to do that.
At that point, is this a commission thing or is this a city thing in the park and city approved events?
Well, if you go back to some of our discussions about who is responsible for the war memorial right now, nobody. I guess the city takes responsibility just because they're doing the plants and they're mowing around it and keeping it cleaned up. But who's responsible for buying the new flags and getting them changed out like the war memorial board used to do? And who's, you know, so who's really responsible for keeping it up and, you know, those kinds of things. And, you know, that discussion has morphed a little bit over time, but my personal opinion is that that's the Veterans Commission should take responsibility for that.
Okay, so I guess I just don't understand. Was that public money that was used?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so why isn't it part of this? Okay, so then why isn't that part of the city then?
But we are part of the city.
The disconnect that I get that I don't understand.
We're part of the city, right? I mean, that's so whether it comes out of a pot of money that we got from a grant or a pot of money that the city council puts aside as a budget, I think that's sort of financial mechanics, right? I mean, my own thought is let's not get too deep into who should pay for it because we're part of the city.
Well, I mean, if we go on that line though, Debbie, I think you might be correct. It should be a line item on the city's budget to replace the flags.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be.
I've just been confused. I just don't know. So. Lost you, Kim.
Yeah, we lost your audio, Kim.
You don't look muted though.
No, somehow I hit the button on my little dongle here. Maybe it's the Veterans foundation that takes care of getting the fundraising done for paying for the flags. I don't know. But those are the two methods we could do it. But we could also, as the Veterans Commission, take it to the council and say, we want this in a budget line item next year.
So now I'm going to say something that I'm going to hope that there's selective delete from this video. But if we want to get this done,
No
let's
promises,
leave the
Kevin.
foundation
No
out of
promises about that.
Yeah, I think we should act on the commission, and if someone wants to bring a notion to the foundation on the side, they should do it. But I think we shouldn't hook our wagon there.
I believe you're right. So, Vern,
Yes, sir.
do you have any information left over from the War Memorial Board that shows where we got the flags, how much they cost, and any of that?
I'm sure I could get that together.
Could we ask you to do that?
I can, and I'll get started on it.
Vern,
Yeah.
I believe Tony was the last one to buy flags. So
Oh,
that-
that's where I'm gonna go, is talk to Tony and we'll get that all pulled together.
Yeah, so if we get that information pulled together, we'd be able to at least intelligently know how much it's going to cost and what we really need to do. The flags haven't been replaced in what, 3 years?
At least, and the ropes, we usually do
And the
those
ropes.
at the time we do the flags.
Right. So if we can get all those costs together, then we have something that's, solid, that we can say, this is what it's going to cost. Figure out who's going to pay for it after that.
Right.
But as far as the signs go for the events, like I said, I don't mind going down there and putting them up before each event. And, we can store them in the mill or whatever. But I think we need the words, and we need to do that. I think it's the easiest thing to start on anyway.
Okay.
And we'll just tell the city this is what we're doing.
Kim, do you want to? Do you feel inspired enough to draft some words and send them out, or what's your thought on how we get the words finalized?
I can do that. I'll do what I can on that. I'm not very good at wordsmithing, but I'll try my hand at it.
Yeah,
And
send
then
it out to
Debbie,
the
and
group
then we'll just give it to Debbie and let her pour it apart.
right, make it better. Good.
Very good.
Anything else on that topic? Okay. Making a few notes myself here. Okay. So just to summarize, we'll get a quote or we'll put a budget together for the flag, replace the flags, the ropes, and print A-boards up, right? That we could put out there and then present it and figure out how we pay for it.
Okay.
Okay. If we go to, I'm just going to group these together: community events, emergency response planning, the job fair, and the VSO. Those are the 4 things we had put on hold. Does anyone have anything they want to discuss on any of those? Deb, I just have one thing. I know you and I talked. Was I going to follow up with the VSO, or were you? I forgot.
I don't even know.
Okay.
That's terrible. That's
I'll
terrible.
put a call into Stacy then. I dropped the ball on that.
Oh, no, not a problem.
Okay. Next up is new business. I'll just kick it off, and I think we have 2 openings still. Kelly, any like are people not banging down your door to get on the commission?
They're not. In fact, I brought this up today with some of my coworkers about trying to figure out how I can better reach people about these openings. So if you have any ideas, let me know. But we'll continue to put it out there on our social media channels. And
Why don't you go ahead
advertise.
and contact the chamber and have them put it on the job board?
Okay.
How many commissioners short are we now?
2, I mean, Gail is filling in until we find somebody. But technically 2.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and put that on the job board on the chamber. We're finding out that people are looking at it. So
Okay.
So what I'd like to talk about might help that with exposure. Okay, so Kim,
Oh, no.
no, the Youth Advisory Council, I watched them do that presentation at the city council meeting, and I was amazed. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I feel inept. I feel inadequate. I do. I props to them big time. So I'm brainstorming, trying to figure out what can we do? And it just does not seem like we're reaching who we need to reach. So I thought about, I was like, hey, we don't have emails. We don't really know. We don't even know how many veterans are in our community. We have no clue. You guys are not the best for self-promotion. I know that. So
We're really better at just keeping
being
quiet.
quiet. No, I know. I know you are. Married to one. But through the title company that I work with, I actually asked them, and I know this is not all encompassing, but it's a good start. I asked them at first to run me an address list of everyone. And this one I did Lake Stevens School District. I have since asked for just 98258 Lake Stevens, but I had them run me an address list of every home that had a VA loan. You have to have been in the service to have a VA loan. She came back with 911 different homes in Lake Stevens School District. So that probably is a little bit of Marysville, a little bit of, I don't know if we go out a little bit to Granite. I kind of don't know where those outer reaches are. But
A little bit of Snohomish, a little bit of,
yeah, so that's 911. And then you add in, because everyone in Constitution Park, they don't own their homes, but they're all military there. So you add in, and I can get those addresses very easily. I was thinking maybe, and then I did bounce this around with Kevin, we kind of had a little bit of a conversation about it, is like, maybe we need to reach out to them at their home and like with a mailer, a postcard or something, and have some sort of a survey and have like a Survey Monkey or one of those type of things, and find out what they want from us, what they need from us, and that they know about us. So they're not, it's not social, it's coming to their home, directly to them, dear veteran, dear what, because we're not sending it out to everyone. We know that they're veterans.
well, okay, let me be devil's advocate there. And that is not necessarily true, because you can actually assume a veteran's loan.
I believe you have to be another veteran though.
I don't think so.
You don't?
No, because that happened to me once.
I'm going to double check that.
Yeah, double check that. Double check on. I don't think so, but
Yeah. A lot of people don't do that though. That's
no,
not
I'm sure. I'm just saying, we might have one.
Right.
But no, I think that your premise is correct. Is that you've got a great way of finding out who they are right there. I mean, that's quite a few.
Yeah, and not doing it because we might get a handful of people that aren't. I think that if we
no, you're right. No.
Yeah.
And if we include, like you say, the rental hunt area, we're talking close to 1,000 homes and that's not even people that didn't get VA loans, right?
Oh yeah, because a lot of people are talked out of using their VA benefits, so they have a conventional or FHA or something like that. But this at least gives us a good start at a fairly good base of people to say, hey, like give them like options. Like, are you more interested in family events? Are you more interested in whatever, have you heard of us? Do you want to be more involved? And then that's where we start finding people that want to be more involved and maybe get them into the foundation or the commission.
Yeah, it would certainly help us focus too. What services should we be providing rather than us trying to guess at it.
Mm-hmm. So that was my epiphany, but that was thanks to the youth council. And like I said,
yeah, they're
I've got to do something now. I've got to do it because they're just blowing us out of the water. So
yeah, those are what I call proud papa moments when they do it. We went to the Rotary Club before we did the before we did the city council with them. And the Rotary Club is still talking about it.
Really?
Yeah, they're just
That's
blown
great.
away by the Youth Advisory Council.
Mhm.
And they have youth, they have what's called the Interact group, and it's a bunch of youth.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's right.
they told me to know that the Youth Advisory Council puts them to shame. So, and one of the people on the Youth Advisory Council is also on the Interact group. So, so that's good to hear. Thanks, Debbie. I appreciate that. And I'll take that back to them.
Yeah.
The meeting them on, we meet every night, every Wednesday, every Thursday night. So,
Okay. So yes, I just did learn something, Kim. Thank you very much. I just looked it up. VA loans are freely assumable. I just don't think that that's a common occurrence, but you are
probably
correct.
not. The only
You are-
time
you
that,
are correct.
the only time it comes up that I know of is when a veteran has to leave to be, they bought a house on the VA loan and then they get transferred at a time. And they don't want to, if they don't want to go through the hassle of the rest of the ways of doing, getting a VHA loan and having to get out of the VA loan and all that. And they let somebody assume their loan. The problem with that is they're still
They are yeah.
liable for that VA loan. It's still under their name.
Yeah, it also does count against their loan limits too.
Right. Yep.
So,
So it's not a good thing, but it can be done.
So Deb,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt, Kim. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, this sounds like a great idea.
mhm.
Do you want help running with it? You want to run with it yourself for a while and bring it back? What are your thoughts on how you step it forward?
Well, I figured that if it sounded okay, and since we can't really make any decisions, that I would go through, I'll get the report for the 98258. I will go and just kind of get quotes for how much it would cost to get them out and then present them at the next meeting.
Maybe Kelly, if could you also, I think we could send it out under the city. The city's probably got a great bulk postal rate, right? Rather than us
That's right. We had talked about that.
Who would we ask about that?
I can ask about that.
We probably asked Kelly about that.
Maybe the city clerk. I don't know. I'll give it a try.
Okay.
No, I'll find out. It sounds familiar, but I just don't know any specific.
Because what could happen is that we could get them printed, they could come to me, I could bring them to the city, or however it would work to get them there to go out under them.
Okay.
Right. And I don't know if it was with this group, but somewhere in my past, I've done this before. So I think there's a bulk rate for like 3x5 cards versus letters. You know, we might as well just understand what the cost structure is, because that might drive the printing.
Mhm.
Okay, that's all good. I had one other thing, actually. I want to go back to the VSO. Looking at my notes. Sorry, not the VSO. The Community Resource Center. I was surprised when I talked to Tina that I guess this is a good thing. They're looking for more new space. They've expanded. They're starting some groups, and they've basically got a whole wing of the church now that they're renting. And their lease, she said, it comes up at the end of June. And you know, they're hoping to be able to add some space, but maybe find some cheaper space. So if anyone knows of, you know, 900 to 1,000 square foot space that's available, I think Tina would love it if you contacted them.
Yeah, we really need to just get the food bank built so we can get them in there. That's what we really need to get. You know, we need to keep going on that. So, which brings me to a new business item. Aquafest does not have a carnival this year, and that's going to cause a lot of hate and discontent with the young crowd. And the carnival that generally comes up here is from Davis Shows Northwest, and they're out of the Portland area. Actually, they're out of the Dalles area, but they're one of 5 carnivals in the Pacific Northwest that are actually left after COVID. There was 7, 2 of them went defunct. They couldn't survive. Pat Davis tells me that they weren't going to survive anyway, but it was the last spike in their coffin. The other problem that those carnivals are having is, and I'm just giving you background information, is they can't find people to hire to run the carnivals. Usually they run 2 to 3 units so that they can cover everybody. Well, they've only got 1 unit apiece. And so we're not getting a carnival. It just doesn't work for anybody to be able to get to us and then to their next venue under the laws of the truck drivers and things like that. So they just can't do it. Pat Davis is one of those rare gentlemen that when he says he's going to do something, he goes out of his way to make it right. And he is trying his best to find us stuff to use up here in place of a carnival. So to my point, he is letting us have for the summer a unit called Water Wars. It's a trailerable unit, 34 feet long. I've got to go get it out of the south of the Dalles. They're pulling it out this week to make it work. But what it is, it's a water balloon war. You sit at one end of the other in a kind of a shed type thing, and you launch water balloons at each other, and it hits the roof of where you're under, and there's holes in it, and you get soaked. It also has something called a depth charge. So if you hit a particular target on the top of it, there's a tank of water in front of you, and it blasts that water out at you like a depth charge would. And it makes all kinds of noise, like that kind of thing. So Pat has told us that if we come get it, we can have it for the summer. No cost. Now, there will be a little bit of cost in that we're going to have some liability insurance to get it on the highway. Somebody's going to have to do liability insurance for having it at events. But my thought process is this. We do fundraisers all summer long using this thing. Aquafest is definitely going to use it. The chamber could use it on their 4th of July, but the Veterans Foundation could use it. The food bank could use it. The senior center could use it. The Rotary could use it. Like every other weekend, we can have this thing out there. Generally speaking, this thing draws about $5,000 a day. Now we might saturate it, but then again,
I don't know. It got Kelly's attention. I think she's ready to throw some money at it right now.
This is my kids' favorite game. We go over to Sun Lakes every year in Eastern Washington, and the place we stay at has this. And this is the first thing.
They have a permanent installation, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like $10 for a bucket of, balloons. I mean, the cost is, they make good money off of it. And I'm telling you, they beg to do that more than anything else all week long, over and over and over and over again. So kids love it. It's fun.
So anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is that, the Veterans Foundation or even the Veterans Commission or whatever could have a fundraising thing one of those weekends. We figure we could get it out there 5 or 6 times during the summer. If we do it every other week and we start in June, we end in August sometime, we're going to get it out there 5 or 6 times. And we could do it, whatever, anybody could do it. And I'm just thinking it's a great thing. So it's something to mull around in your heads and see if there's anything we really want to do with that for us as a commission or foundation. But I'm pretty sure we're going to get, I know what we could do as a commission is we could run it for the food bank one weekend, or we could run it for the family center, or the senior center one weekend, or the community center for that matter.
Right.
We could run, but for the food bank especially, because we're trying to help with the food bank to get it built so we can get the community center in there and do that. And that's one of our tenets of the commission, is get that dang thing built. And we really haven't done anything to, except for discussions about how the building is going to be laid out. So it might be that we just hold it ourselves, a commission, because, hey, we're doing a fundraiser for the food bank and we do it. It only takes a couple of people 2 hours to set it up, and then a couple of people to run it. Sell tickets, fill balloons, no big deal. So anyway, it's an idea. Figured I'd bring it up. We're going to go get it just about no matter what, but because I want to play. So
What'd you say it is, Kim? 35 feet?
34 feet. Yeah. He says that to bring it up from the Dalles, we'll need at least a 1-ton truck. Well, Matt Tabor has an F550 that he has access to. So he said he'd go down and get it. And he would pick the truck up in Portland, drive over to it's 30 miles south of the Dalles, and he could bring it back up here. And then, we just pay for his gas and all that kind of stuff, So what I'm really trying to do right now, just so you know, is I'm trying to find out, okay, who's actually going to sponsor this thing? Is the chamber going to sponsor it? Is Aquafest going to sponsor it? Am I going to sponsor it? Because we got to get liability insurance for each of the events. We got to, how can we do that? So I've already reached out to Craven Insurance through the chamber to see if the chamber can actually do it through their liability insurance. And then if not, then I'll go to the Aquafest board and say, hey, this is what we really want to do. The Aquafest board is really excited about it, but they haven't heard any of the particulars about what we really need to do and they haven't even heard of using it for other fundraisers. I haven't brought that up to them yet. So if I have to control the dang thing and pay for it and everything, then okay, fine, I will. But
Kelly, could we ask you to do one other thing too that,
If it involves Waterworks, I'm in.
well, I was going to say, could you check and so we all could, you've done this before, but I want to say there's like about $300 left from that initial grant that the Veterans Commission had. It would be nice to know just what it is, because maybe we'll want to, it's probably not enough to fund liability insurance, but maybe we'd want to contribute to somebody that's getting it.
Yeah.
Or buy some balloons.
Yeah, maybe just, when you buy this thing, if you buy one from the company, you can all look it up on waterworks.com. It's called the blaster. And then the other thing, the add-on is called the depth charge. And when you buy the unit, it's $15,000 for the unit. They give you 14,400 balloons.
Oh gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a water fill station with 3 spigots and a rapid tie thing, so yeah. And the only thing Pat told me about is that don't put it in the dirt.
Oh, it would be a mud.
Oh,
It'd just be a mud bath. He says that's why we don't use it anymore, because generally speaking, they're in the dirt.
Right. So it has to be on pavement, basically, right?
And I mean, right there on Mill Spur, we could put it right in the middle of the road, and there's a drain right there, right? And the only thing we'd have to do is have them take the grate up and put a piece of landscape stuff in there so the balloon, the busted balloons don't go to the lake, because it goes directly to the lake.
Right.
So but they do that for Aquafest anyway. They open up every one of those and put that in there, so we don't have anything going down to the lake.
that's smart.
Or
That
we
would
could
be
put it on
such a
18th
hit.
Street next to the post office, or we could put it at Lundeen. There's a lot of places we could do it. As long as we have water, a hose, and that's it. And then we also need an air compressors. We need power and water, because the depth charge uses air. But I have a big air compressor, so I'm not worried about that.
Sounds fun.
Sounds fun, is right. Cool. Well, we look forward to hearing about this at the next meeting. I think we'll all brainstorm on how we can leverage it.
Yeah, that's what I figured. If Pat's going to let us have the dang thing for the summer, well, let's leverage it.
Right. Okay, anything else anyone wants to bring up under new business? Well, this was good discussion, guys. Let's keep the momentum going. It's always the challenge, but I think we got some good thoughts going on here.
Yep.
So next meeting will be May 2nd. And are we going to try for a hybrid? If I can pull it off, are we ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay. It's just the availability of the mill, and then a couple other things that I will work on as far as noticing. But
Well,
think-
Kelly, do we have to do a hybrid, or can we just meet in person?
we still have to have a hybrid.
We do.
Yeah, the OPMA. Yeah, the governor came out with some changes, but he is still requiring a virtual component.
On commissions and everybody.
Yeah,
Okay.
anybody who's subject to the OPMA. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes it easy.
Yeah. So, but that, like library board, they have their meeting next week and they wanted to meet. And I said, well, we'll do it for your next meeting. So we'll do it. I'd like to start it in May, and I'm going to be Training Planning Commission and some others. So you guys will be right in line with everybody going hybrid.
Cool.
So you'll have the choice to be online or come down either way.
Very good.
Yeah. So more information on that. I'll get some more info out to you guys before the next meeting.
Great. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Okay, then I think we're ready for a motion to adjourn.
I don't even think you can make that motion, Kevin. You just have to end it.
All right. All right. All right. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
See ya.
Second.
I guess we can't
And so
make a
it's-
motion, can we?
So it's done. It's done.
Done. All right.
Goodbye, everyone.
All
Take
right.
care,
Good night,
everyone.
Bye, guys.